Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Stanley with Standley Handcrafted, and today we're going to be talking about wick holders, and possibly the best one that I've used so far. Now, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you've seen me use a ton of different wick holders, from popsicle sticks to clothespins to these metal wick tabs. And recently I've been using the bag clips, which up until now have been my absolute favorite way to go. These things are incredible. I still have a link for these down below. I still recommend these almost over everything, but I got in some new ones that made me question my love for the bag clips. Now, of course, getting into wick holders, you always want to have a good one. It's incredibly tough to find a good one that's going to work absolutely perfect every time. And of course, it's absolutely frustrating to use any single one of these and have it slip and you don't notice it until that candle hardens. Now, of course, with the popsicle sticks, they work extremely well. You can pull them up through the top, tape them down. But if you've ever used these, as with any clips, once the candle hardens and it starts to move around a little bit, especially if you're using paraffin, it can slide a little bit and go to one side, and then you end up with an off-center wick. The clothespins are exactly the same way. These things work extremely well. You run the wick right up through there. You can set them down, but the problem with these is they can move extremely easy. So if you accidentally bump one and you just don't notice it, these can move off-center really fast. Now, jumping into the metal tabs, I used these for months, if not a good solid year, before I started looking around again. These things work extremely well. Need to find the right one for the right jar. It's got steps in there so it can hit a few different jars, but if you've ever used one of these, you know that you can put the wick in here. It doesn't actually fit perfect inside the 9-ounce straight, so you have to set it off to one side. And then once you do get it perfect, you snap the wick. These things can pop, and I've had that happen multiple times, and again, extremely frustrating when it comes down to centering a wick. Since then, somebody in the group recommended the bag clips, and these have been absolutely incredible. They're extremely cheap also, which is great. I have a link for these down in the video description down below. I get these off Amazon, and you pop these open, grab the wick, you can pull it tight and snap it, and these things hold perfect. Now, that doesn't mean that they're perfect. I have had a few of these shift and kind of move off center. So as with any wick holder, these are extremely useful and extremely helpful, but you do get an off center wick from time to time. Now, recently I was contacted on my Instagram page by Custom Wick Holder, and you can find links for these guys all over the place. I'm going to link them down below. I've got them on my Instagram page, and I'm going to go ahead and link them up here, hopefully once I get the video done. But these are 3D printed wick holders, and these things are absolutely incredible. I was using these the other day. I've got a video that kind of shows these. These things are absolutely incredible. They fit on multiple jars. If you look on their website, they've got a bunch of different options, almost any option you can think of, from the jelly jars to the 9-ounce straights to the tins to even 12 and 16-ounce jars, and triple wick, double wick. They have a wick holder for almost everything. And the nice thing about these is they slip right on over the top. They're nice and snug. This thing doesn't move at all on the 8-ounce jelly jar. It's got a little bit of a give on the 9-ounce straight, but it's nothing that's gonna move the wick or do anything. And these things are extremely easy to use. You can see in the video that you just slip it right on over the wick and you just pop it right into place. And this thing holds the wick absolutely centered, absolutely perfect, and there is literally no chance of that thing moving. These things are extremely nice, and they're actually not too badly priced either, especially for 3D printing. If you order 50 or more, they're right around $1 a piece, which is incredible, and that's right in line with the metal wick tabs. And I would choose these over the metal wick tabs in a second, just because they're not gonna move around. They fit perfectly. I'd say the only advantage the metal wick tabs have over these, and I'm not even sure you would call it an advantage with the fact that they can still move around, is the metal wick tabs can fit probably 2 or 3, 4 different jars, whereas these are specific to certain jars. Now, this one right here does fit the 9-ounce straight and the 8-ounce jelly jar. So if you've got a jar that has like a 2.75 diameter, these things are gonna work perfect for that. But if you're going to the tins or anything like that, you're gonna buy a set specifically for those tins. But most candle makers end up making one size or one style or two styles of jar anyways, so if you do get a bunch of these, you're gonna be just fine. Now, I just started using these. I've only been using them for maybe a couple days now, and I really like them. My first initial thought in using these things are they're incredible. These are easily the best wick holders I've ever used. I'm definitely gonna get more of these for a few of the other jars and the containers that I use, just to test them even more. But if you're really going for that perfection look, then I would definitely look into these guys. If you're wanting your candles to really stand out, perfectly centered wicks, I don't think you're gonna get anything better than these. So if you have any questions for me on these, go ahead and ask in the video description or the comments down below. I'll go through and answer every single one of them. I have included Custom Wick Holder's website, Instagram, and basically any way to get in touch with these guys down below. And I'm gonna go ahead and link it up here also. So I cannot recommend these enough. If you're looking for good wick holders, perfectly centered wicks, then definitely look these guys up and get a few to test them out. If you do get them, or if you have used them, please let me know what you thought of them in the description down below. And if you jump over on their Instagram page, tell them that Stanley Handcrafted sent you. And of course, while you're on Instagram, jump over, subscribe to the page. You can send me a message through any of the social media links down below: Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, the DIY Facebook group, which I'll have a link in the video description down below. It's DIY Candle Making, Beginner to Advanced, if you're gonna search it on Facebook. And then of course, my website, email, if you wanna get in touch with me, is down below as well. So I hope you liked the video, and thank you for watching.